morning, students. Today we are going to start with the chapter ratio analysis. Now whenever we are preparing any financial statement, the basis of any financial statement is balance sheet and the profit and loss account. From the balance sheet and the profit and loss account, it is very easy to understand whether the business is running in profit or loss. The balance sheet is the position of the accounts of the firm at the end of any financial year. From balance sheet, one can easily guess whether the business is in a healthy position or not. The profit and loss account, which is the second basis of any financial statement, it tells us whether the business is making profit or whether the business is making any loss. Now, what is a profit and loss account? In simple layman's language, if we talk, profit and loss is all about the revenue and expenses. If your income or revenue is more than your expenses, then definitely it is a profit. Vice versa, if your income is less and your expenses are more, then you turn into losses. Similarly, turning back to balance sheet, it comprises of assets and liabilities. Liabilities are those which are to be paid out, and assets are those which are our property. So definitely, again on the balance sheet part, if the assets are more than the liabilities, definitely we can say that the business is in a fruitful position. As against this, if the liabilities are more, then definitely the firm has to take necessary action so as to reduce its liabilities and increase its assets. But mere knowing the asset or mere knowing the profit and loss account, it is not easy to understand the financial status of the firm. For that, what comes to our rescue is the ratio. Now, ratio, it is an expression which expresses the relationship between two figures. For example, profitability and capital employed. I repeat, for example, when we talk of ratio, it tries to express the relationship between two figures. For example, profitability and the capital employed. Now, for example, if we employ 100 rupees as a capital and if we earn 10 rupees as a profit on that, and against in case number 2, if we employ 100 rupees as capital and earn 25 rupees of profit on that, definitely in the second case the profitability is much more. Means what? It is reducing the burden on the capital employed, because it is trying to increase our gain, it is trying to increase our reserve, and this can be very well expressed in terms of ratio. Means in comparison to the capital employed, in how much percentage or in how much ratio or in how much proportion we are earning our profit. Now, ratio analysis is used for analyzing the financial statement, and it helps to know the financial health of the company. And hence, the basic of any financial statement, when we talk about balance sheet or profit and loss account, there are various ratios which tell about the health of the company, the basic position of the company in terms of its assets, in terms of its liabilities, in terms of its profits or in terms of its losses. Now we'll just have a look at how the ratios are expressed. Now the ratios are expressed in 3 or 4 ways. First is the rate. Ratio between two numerical facts over a period of time. For example, stock turnover ratio is 2 times. Means here the rate is expressed, the ratio is expressed in terms of times. So when we talk of stock turnover ratio, it is 2 times. Ratio, again it is also expressed as pure ratio, where it is expressed as ratio for two variables, that is current assets to current liabilities. For example, जैसे for example, if we talk that the ratio of current assets to current liabilities is 3:1, we can definitely say that the assets are 3 times of the liabilities. And again we can infer that when the assets are more than its liabilities, definitely the business is in a good position. Next we have is percentage. Ratio is also expressed in terms of percentage, and hence it will be, for example, gross profit ratio is equal to 30%. It's just an example. Now moving back to the basic theory, we will try to visualize the importance of ratio analysis. As I have already mentioned that ratio analysis helps, or ratios help to know the health of any business. And when we know how the condition of business is, definitely we are in a position to plan further. So jotting down the importance of ratio analysis, we can infer that it helps to know the general efficiency, means how your business is going on. It helps to plan and forecast. So for example, if you are making profit, so you may plan whether to expand the production or whether to go in for some new changes, okay? Or if you are going into a loss, whether to merge it with any business or whether to close down the business. Or for example, if you are talking of forecasting, whether the business will earn more income in near future. So these are all the things related to decision making, and hence decision making also is one of the core importance of ratio analysis. Next, we are going to take corrective actions. Let us suppose, for example, that for some kind of reason the business is not flourishing. So it definitely makes us to think what corrective action we have to take. Just say for example, if you are taking some medicine for your illness and if you are not able to revive, so the doctor says that okay, now we are going to take some corrective action, let us change the methodology of treatment, okay? And it also helps comparison of the firm, inter-firm and intra-firm. I repeat, inter-firm, that is the comparison between two firms, and intra-firm, that is the comparison of the firm, the departments of the firm. And lastly, the basic importance is management control. Through proper ratio analysis, the management can take effective measures and proper decisions. Even though we are talking of advantages or limitations of ratio analysis, there are some limitations, disadvantages. Amongst them are lack of proper standard, qualitative factors ignored, background overlooked, limited use, not useful in changing policies. For example, if the government changes its policy in some financial matters, again calculation of ratios may become difficult for us. Okay, so these are some of the limitations which we are doing. Now as far as studying of ratios is concerned, the ratios are classified on the basis of statement, on the basis of uses, on the basis of its importance, and on the basis of the purpose why the ratios are calculated. Now we are going to look all these ratios, the classification one by one. The first classification of ratios is classification by statement. It is based on those statements from which information is obtained for calculation of ratio. Now as the name suggests, it is the classification based on the statement. Now what are the various statements which we make? First is balance sheet, next is profit and loss account, and next is inter-statement ratio. The basic two statements are profit and loss account and the balance sheet. When we are talking of the balance sheet, we calculate financial ratios, and when we are talking of profit and loss account, wherein we include all the operational expenses, we prepare operating ratios. As we go on with the further explanation of the chapters, we will be definitely looking into the ratios thoroughly, and we will be going in with the practical numericals with that. Now the second classification of the ratios is depending on the classification by users, means the ratios which we are going to prepare, who are the people who are going to use it. You know, the management comprises of top level, middle level and the lower level management. Mostly the decisions are taken by the board of directors, implemented through the lower level management by the help of managers, that is the middle level management. So if the ratios are used by the managers, what would be the ratios we are going to calculate? Next classification is ratios for creditors. Okay. Now the creditors are the people who are of prime importance for your organization. So definitely while investing in your organization, these creditors will be looking for the financial strength of your organization. Just for example, if you know that your friend is in need of money, आपके फ्रेंड को पैसा चाहिए और आपको पता है कि वो फ्रेंड की देने की कैपेसिटी ही नहीं है, तो जाहिर सी बात है कि आप 10 बार सोच के ही उसको पैसा दोगे. Same is the condition in the organization. When the creditors are to invest in your company, they will definitely look to the financial help of your company, and then they will decide whether to invest. So there are some ratios which are used by the creditors. And lastly, in the classification by users, ratios for shareholders. Now who are the shareholders? Shareholders are the people who have purchased the shares of your company. What does it mean? They are the part holders, they are the part people who are the owner of your company to the extent of the number of shares purchased by them. जैसे for example, if I have purchased 1000 rupees share, अगर मैंने आपके कंपनी में 1000 रुपये के शेयर्स खरीदे हैं, तो मैं उतने पैसों की आपके कंपनी में मालिक हूँ. मेरा हिस्सा उतना आपके कंपनी में बनता है. I hope the second classification is clear. Now we will go with the third one, that is classification of by importance. Now either it is primary ratio or secondary ratio. Now the ratios which are important, very important, those will come under the primary ratio, and the ratios which are less important will come under the secondary ratio. Last classification is classification according to the purpose, यानी हमको किसके लिए रेशोज कॅल्क्युलेट करना है, किस कारण के वजह से, कोणत्या कारणाने आपण ते रेशोज कॅल्क्युलेट करतो आहे. फर्स्ट इज सॉल्वेन्सी, म्हणजे आपली कंपनी व्यवस्थित आहे की नाही, सॉल्वंट आहे का नाही, का बँकरप्ट झालेली आहे, दिवाळखोर झालेली आहे, हे बघण्यासाठी. सेकंड इज प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी, म्हणजे आपल्या कंपनीची प्रॉफिट कपॅसिटी कशी आहे, आपण खूप जास्त प्रॉफिट कमवतो आहे का खूप कमी प्रॉफिट कमवतो आहे. देन ॲक्टिव्हिटीज, द कंपनी मे इंडल्ज इन व्हेरियस ॲक्टिव्हिटीज. मग कधी कंपनीला वाटेल की नको आता हा प्रॉडक्ट, आपण डायव्हर्सिफिकेशन जाऊ, म्हणजे दुसऱ्या कोणत्या तरी प्रॉडक्टमध्ये जाऊ, म्हणून कंपनीला त्याची स्टेबिलिटी बघावी लागेल. आणि लास्ट इज अर्निंग, की कंपनीने किती कमवलेलं आहे. नाउ दीज आर द रेशोज. द फर्स्ट रेशो इज ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ its statement, on the basis of user, on the basis of the importance, and on the basis of purpose. Now we are going to look towards the practical part. In the first ratio, which we talked of the ratios classification on the basis of statement, we know that we have balance sheet and we have profit and loss account. So there are some ratios which are related to balance sheet. First is the current ratio, and the formula for calculating the current ratio is current assets upon current liabilities. Now what are current assets? We all know those assets which can be converted into cash easily. Then what are current liabilities? Which are payable within 1 year of time. Now generally ideal current ratio is 2:1. इसका मतलब ये है कि assets 2 पार्ट और liabilities 1 पार्ट. So it is very simple कि अगर आपके पास पैसा ज़्यादा है तो आपकी फाइनेंशियल पोजीशन अच्छी है. जैसे आपके पास 10 रुपये है और आपका खर्चा 5 रुपये ही है, इसका मतलब क्या है, या फिर आपके पास 15 रुपये है और आपका खर्चा 5 या 8 रुपये है, तो आपके पास आपके खर्चे से दुगना पैसा होता है, तो आपकी पोजीशन अच्छी है. ओके. नेक्स्ट इज नेट वर्किंग कैपिटल रेशो. व्हाट इज वर्किंग कैपिटल? इट इज़ द रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ आवर डे टू डे expenses, and the formula for calculating net working capital is net working capital upon net assets. Now you have already prepared statement of working capital and you know how the statement is prepared, current assets minus current liabilities. तो जो भी करंट एसेट्स और करंट लाइबिलिटीज़ को माइनस करके फिगर आता है, दैट इज़ योर वर्किंग कैपिटल. और उसको अगर हम एसेट से डिवाइड करते हैं तो दैट विल बी योर नेट वर्किंग कैपिटल रेशो. ओके. देन नेक्स्ट इज क्विक रेशो और लिक्विड रेशो और एसिड टेस्ट रेशो. नाउ लिक्विड रेशो, एसिड टेस्ट रेशो,